Every day feels the same, a repeated cycle. Eat, sleep, school, work, then back again. We need your help.
Hello everyone, my name is Joselyn and I'm 16 years old. Ever since I can remember, I've always felt a tad bit different. I've always seemed confused and angry at such a young age. As the staff at my elementary school, I was quite popular in their offices. I'm very glad I was able to take on my emotion through reading, journaling, and I am very grateful for my elementary school counselor. She used to take me out of class to check up on me and spend hours of the day just trying to make me feel better. The thing I loved most about her is that she allowed me to write my feelings and recommended many books to me. Life from there has been a roller coaster. I had enough distractions to not think about anything I was struggling with mentally throughout middle school. Towards the end of middle school, though, is when all the distractions stopped and my mental health started to go downhill. By freshman year, I had enough stress and sadness on my shoulders that I just simply couldn't keep up. I tend to joke about my mental health because it's the only way I cope. By sophomore year, I felt like I was just a punching bag for the universe. Then halfway, I had experienced a lockdown and a global pandemic like many other students and young adults at only the age of 16. When it first started, I tried reaching out to my high school counselor, but never got a response back. I kept up with my assignments that were due at midnight and finished sophomore year okay. I am currently a junior and I'm surviving through all of this. My mental health has gone up and down, but still striving to be the best version of myself. On my own, I have learned to cope with just music and just trying to sleep it off. It may not sound good, but it still helps.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Kasandra Negrete, and I'm a current junior at Tech. So I just wanted to share with you guys my experience. Well, before lockdown occurred, I really was already suffering mentally and physically. I wasn't taking care of myself and I was not prioritizing my mental health. I mean, how could I when in my culture and everything and my traditions are that if you cry, you are seen as weak, and all this about mental health, you are seen as crazy if you even speak about it, and that just pray, just use religion as something how to cope with it, and it really became hard for me to really take care of myself. But then obviously lockdown occurred and I really began self-reflecting on all these things. And that's when I started joining my student stream, which where I have been working on educating and advocating for immigration and education justice. And with that, that was one form of me coping with my mental health and my physical health on how I can strengthen those areas of weakness. And I know you may notice my virtual background, and I use nature as one of them. I'll walk, I'll run, I'll go with my siblings bike riding, with my family, friends. It's a way of me coping with all the stress that I have, along with swimming. I've been a swimmer since I was 6 years old, and I have not stopped at all. And that's another way of me using all my resources and skills.
I'd like to see schools become more involved in students' mental health because in preparation of this video, me and Cassandra sent out a survey, and within 2 days, we received over 100 responses from high school and college students. These are students in urban areas like Detroit, as well as suburban and rural areas. Based on our data, even though students had a diverse response regarding exactly how school and mental health are affecting them, it was overwhelmingly clear that young people want to talk about mental health and they feel like they're not getting enough support. We learned that 91% of students who responded to our survey do not feel like their schools care enough about their mental health. And COVID has taken a toll too. When we asked if online school has negatively affected their mental health, 83% answered yes. We know that having a trusted adult to talk to makes a huge difference in the lives of young people. Luckily, a majority of our respondents said that they have an adult they trust, but there was still far too many who said they don't have anyone to turn
Shows
to.
how the majority of youth had their mental health impacted negatively. And I'm going to be sharing with you a few personal experiences listed in the Google Forms that we received. One says, lately I have lost interest and energy to do a lot of activities I am used to doing on a daily basis. I struggle with sleeping at night, depression, loss of motivation, and worsened anxiety. Teachers are pretending we're still in school and they're taking advantage of online work to make people turn it in sooner at 11:59 p.m. These closer deadlines and higher workloads loads coupled with depression and lack of inspiration because we aren't in a healthy working environment caused my mental health to decrease. And then the third person said, I've had more feelings of stress and anxiety due to all the online aspects I need to track. And sitting down all day isn't exactly good for my physical health. And this really goes to show how students really are interested in speaking about mental health. They are attempting to reach out for support, but if schools do not show how they care for students, they will be suffering even more.
NFL player Russell Wilson once said, if we start being honest about our pain, our anger, and our shortcomings instead of pretending they don't exist, then maybe we'll leave the world a better place than we found it. Now let's talk about what parents, guardians, and teachers can do. We are teens and experienced a global pandemic and a statewide shutdown. We had to teach ourselves our own classes for a year. Many of us lost the one place where we felt like we had a safe haven, schools where we could be with our friends. Some of us also lost friends, family due to COVID. As virtual schools continue and as well as we transition back into in person learning, it's more important than ever to prioritize students' mental health. Parents, teachers, guardians, here are a few things we need from you. Give us a chance to journal and see what kinds of discussions come up afterwards. Talk to us one on one. Develop real relationships with us. Understand that youth might need to take a mental health break once in a while. Teach children about self care, boundary setting, and mental health at such a young age. Normalize going to therapy as something that's healthy. Teach us it's okay to seek support when something's wrong. Talk about different forms of a healthy mindset and a healthy relationship.
Thank you, Josie. I really do agree with that it would be super helpful if the adults in life would really listen to that advice you shared. I mean, as a community organizer, I also think it's important to change systems and policies to be more supportive of students. So now, I have some suggestions for school administrators, school board members, and legislators. 1. Authentically engage youth in decision making. 2. Fully fund our schools. 3. Remove police from our schools. And 4. Relocate those funds to more social workers, psychologists, and nurses. B. Support groups in schools. C. College and career preparation. And last but not least, D. Anti-racist curriculum.
We're not asking you to do this alone. Youth wants to be a part of changing things for the better. We are simply asking the adults in our lives to think about the ways their actions and their decisions impact youth.
We are hopeful that by destigmatizing and prioritizing mental health and by investing in support services, we can improve the lives of young people, such as the ones we surveyed drastically.
Talk with us. Invite us to the table.
We can make a difference together.